everyone. Grab your Bibles and your families, and we're going to begin. We've been studying the 10 Commandments found in Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1 to 20, and we found out that number 1, we should have no other gods before us. We should not make or worship idols. We should not misuse God's name. We should remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. And we should honor our father and our mother. But did you know that the 10 Commandments can also be found in the book of Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy chapter 5. Deuteronomy chapter 5, the 10 Commandments. And here we see in verse 6, it talks about the first one. Verse 7, the second one. The third one is verse 11. Verse 12 is remember the Sabbath day. So that's number 4. And then number 5, honor your father and mother. That is verse 16. Very interesting. I wanted to give you a little more information about the 10 Commandments before we go further and learning any more. And in so doing, I wanted to talk to you about whereabouts in history this was brought about. And of course, it was after the Israelites were freed from the bondage of the Egyptians. Because these commandments were brought forth was for the reason that the children of Israel needed to learn to walk with God. They needed to know who He was. They needed to know what He wanted or expected from them. And it was to instruct them about the way that God wanted them to live. And He wanted them to live a life set apart in holiness and in obedience. And in doing so, the people needed to trust God. They needed to see Him for who He was. He was an amazing deliverer and redeemer. And now He wanted to show them how to live. Some people have said that the 10 Commandments, the first 4 of them, talk about your duties to God or loving the Lord your God. How do you love Him and what He expects from you? And some have said that the 10 Commandments, the 5th to the 10th, talk about the duties to humans, meaning how do we live with other people? And this, some have said that it relates to loving your neighbor. Either way, when we talk about the commandments, we're talking about listening and obeying. We're talking about how when you obey, it brings blessing. And when you disobey, it brings disappointment. And disobedience leads to disaster, where obedience leads to wonderful opportunities and relationship with our Father. So just wanted you to know a little bit more about the 10 Commandments and wanted to review the first 5 that we were doing. Hey, one more item I wanted to talk about, and it has to do with what we were talking about in the Old Testament about the 10 Commandments, and that was number 5, which we covered yesterday, about honoring your father and your mother. You know, I have great parents, and I'm really thankful to the Lord for them. I want to do a special shout out tonight to my dad. My dad turns 80 today. Woohoo! April 30th. So, just if you can put a little shout out to him, say, hey, or happy birthday. Give it your best yell. I know you won't hear it, but you know what? It really means a lot to me. And Dad, just want you to know I love you. Thank you for raising me and supporting me all these years. And just want you to know that even though I can't be with you, you're in my thoughts and prayers. Hey, so it's time to say our books of the Old Testament. And tonight we are putting in the very last book of the Old Testament. And guess what? It's called Malachi. Okay, so all seriousness, let's try and do this. Try and do it without looking. If you have to look, it's okay. I'm going to do it without looking. So here we go. Hopefully I get it right. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. And now I'm going to go check and make sure I did it right. Hopefully you did. There's 39 books, remember, Old Testament. This is the bestseller in my library tonight. The book is called I Am. It's the names of God for little ones. And yes, it is the next one in this whole series by Diane Stortz. And it has the particulars like the other ones do, but it's definitely for a younger crowd. So I would say pre-kindergarten to kindergarten age. It'll tell you the name of God. It'll tell you what the name is in Hebrew. Of course, it will give you a Bible verse. It'll give a little description of what's happening, and then always a prayer. And this one is particularly interesting tonight. It's so beautiful. This is Moses leading the people out of Egypt through the Red Sea. So I think this would be my bestseller in my library tonight for you to enjoy. Get a hold of one if you have a child that age. So we went on Zoom with the preteens, and we had a great time. Very fun. We're going to do another one, if you missed it, on May 6th at 3 p.m. Preteens only. And you can just contact me, and I will get you the information. As well, parents, we want to do a Zoom call with you. I know some of you out there just need to talk and be encouraged. So we're going to do that on May the 7th at 7 p.m. So again, contact me, Nicole at surreychurch.org. And I'll give you the information so you can come on and have the chat with us. So there's the preteen chat on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And then there's the parent chat on Thursday at 7 p.m. May 6 and 7. Don't want you to miss it. Go on our website at surreychurch.org. If you follow these steps to the COVID site, you'll see the Kids Corner. And at Kids Corner, you will find different helps that we have provided for you. It's changed every week, so it's always brand new material. Stop by, check us out.